hunting doesn't really seem to be the issue at hand. Rhinos are poached for their horn, we know that. Where does the demand come from?
So the demand for rhino horn that's leading to the illegal killing of rhinos comes primarily from Asia. Rhino horn has long been prescribed in small quantities in traditional Asian medicine, primarily as a fever reducent. It's understood to have bitter and cooling properties. So if a person was suffering from what's described there as excess heat in the body, having a fever or having other symptoms of toxic buildup, small amounts of rhino horn would be taken in the belief that it would help cleanse the body. And this is something that's happened for many thousands of years. What we're seeing now is a new trend. And it's something that's been observed in other geographical areas. As Vietnam is becoming more wealthy, the new middle classes are choosing to display their wealth, to show off the burgeoning purchasing power that they have by buying rhino horn, by displaying to their friends and their peers how well connected they are because they can get hold of this illicit product, and how much money they now have. It's a similar pattern as was seen in the Yemen back in the 1970s when black rhino populations were decimated throughout much of East and Central Africa. Previously there, the major status symbol had been a jambia, a dagger which you wear on your belt, and the most prized form of jambia to have was one with a rhino horn. So again, what happened there was that a previously poor country had become rapidly wealthy, and people were buying rhino horn to show their status. We're seeing a similar pattern happening now in Vietnam today.
So you said that we've seen this pattern happen previously. If we draw from what we've seen in the past, where do we see this going? Is it going to continue to increase and rise, or is it going to fizzle out?
The issue we're dealing with today, the focus today is primarily on Vietnam and potentially China as being the source of demand. If you look back over history, demand for rhino horn has grown and then been brought under control again in Japan, in South Korea, in Taiwan. A combination of strong government regulation and control and strong enactment of the judicial process, as well as a change in attitude among consumers, has occurred in the past.
Well, I know you mentioned that this is almost embedded in the history of a lot of Asian countries for thousands and thousands of years. How do we go about changing a mindset like that?
It's another very interesting question, and it's something that as conservationists we're having to learn about. There's a distinct difference between awareness raising in terms of just telling someone about something and bringing about behavior change, actually making people switch the way they do things. Making sure you turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth is a good example. What we're seeing in Vietnam is a new trend. People are taking it as a general health tonic. People are taking it to remove their hangovers. They're taking it to allow them to keep drinking for longer and partying. Wow. So this isn't old, traditional, revered use. This is the new party trend. And I think what we have to try and do is change attitudes towards that. Make rhino horn look old school, uncool, and perhaps that will bring about change.